Jam TV.
Per tutti i cultori di musica il nome di Marc Cohn è una garanzia. 25 anni fa, quando uscì il suo album di debutto, fu una vera rivelazione per tutti gli appassionati di cantautorato, quello che profuma un po' di West Coast, anche se Marc Cohn viene da Cleveland, Ohio. Quel disco gli valse un Grammy Award come Best New Artist, ma soprattutto la stima del mondo della musica e l'affetto di tutti coloro che dalla musica cercano ancora buone vibrazioni. Noi abbiamo incontrato Marc Cohn in esclusiva per voi, ascoltatori e spettatori di Jam TV, all'auditorium di Roma in apertura del concerto di Graham Nash. E a Marc Cohn abbiamo chiesto proprio di raccontarci che cos'è Cleveland, Ohio, sede della Rock and Roll Hall of Fame e Museum, ma anche una città forse bella da visitare, ma soprattutto gli abbiamo chiesto se il nome di Donbrook Hotel a lui ancora oggi emoziona o provoca qualche sentimento particolare.
Laughter. It was my first band when I was about 15 probably, in junior high school in Cleveland, Ohio. I was singing Maggie May at my high school locker, and this kid that I didn't know said, "Hey, you can sing. You want to be in my band?" And that was the beginning of somebody saying, you know, this is what you could do.
Quando viveva a Cleveland e studiava al college, Marc Cohn ha imparato a suonare. Ha imparato prima la chitarra e poi il pianoforte. Ora ci chiediamo con quale dei due strumenti lui preferisce scrivere le canzoni, con quale dei due strumenti, cioè chitarra e pianoforte, si sente maggiormente a suo agio nel comporre musica.
Luckily, I'm comfortable with both. For me, it isn't even the choice of which instrument I write on is totally subconscious. I just have an instinct that I want to play guitar today and maybe something happens, and if it doesn't, I can switch to the piano. I started walking in Memphis on guitar, and I couldn't really play the arpeggiated figure very well, so I moved to piano. Turns out that was a good idea, to move that figure from guitar to piano. And then the song came very easily. I just sort of go with my instinct. I'm just looking for a good song. If I have to play, I mean, lately I've been writing songs with no instrument, just singing words and melodies without the limitation of my particular style on either instrument. I find that's actually opened me up a bit to going to other places melodically because I'm not restricted by my own harmonic limitations. So I'm just looking for a good song. If it's a guitar that gets me there, a piano, a kazoo, it doesn't matter.
Marc Cohn da tanti anni non vive più a Cleveland, eppure nelle sue canzoni forse la sua città natale è presente. Gli abbiamo chiesto dove, come e perché.
Cleveland is everywhere in my songs, especially from my first couple of records. It's just not as explicit. There's no walking in Cleveland, you know. But in a song of mine called Perfect Love, I talk about Shaker Lake. That's in Cleveland. In the song about my dad and his car, Silver Thunderbird, I talk about South Park Boulevard and Winslow. These are all streets in Cleveland. So it's not as overt or explicit, the imagery, but anybody from Cleveland would recognize what I'm talking about.
Nell'ultimo album di inediti di Marc Cohn, Join the Parade, tra le tante canzoni affascinanti ce n'è una particolarmente seducente. Si intitola Listening to Levon ed è dedicata al grande Levon Helm, batterista e cantante di The Band. È anche una storia piuttosto curiosa. Un ragazzo, dopo tanti corteggiamenti, riesce finalmente a portare in macchina la ragazza dei suoi sogni, però poi accende la radio, ascolta una canzone di The Band e si perde nella voce di Levon, dimenticandosi di questa ragazza. La mia curiosità era di sapere come e quando è nata questa canzone.
You know, I think I have from the very beginning had as one of my main themes that runs through all of my music, starting with Walking in Memphis and many others that came after, up to and including Listening to Levon. Many of my songs are really tributes and homages to musicians and to music. Walking in Memphis was essentially a song about the transformational healing power of music. And listening to Levon is about that too. And it name checks one of my favorites, which is Levon Helm and the band. It's really a song about young love and about the healing power of music, which is something I can still sing about with great feeling because it still resonates for me. I don't really know where that song came from or why it came out that way. I think I had read something on the internet about someone who was playing Levon the Elton John song for his girlfriend and couldn't concentrate anymore. And that took me off into my own direction about Levon Helm and the power of his voice and musicianship.
I was sitting with Mary in my dad's blue Valiant. Rain was coming down and the radio was playing. And Mary was talking a million miles a minute, but I could not hear one word she was saying, because I was lost, I was gone, listening to leave on in another place, in another world. I was lost, I was gone, listening to leave on. I was looking in Mary's eyes, but I was listening to leave on.
Abbiamo chiesto a Marc Cohn se davvero il potere della musica è così forte e se una voce intensa come quella di Levon Helm ci fa perdere completamente la Trebisonda.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, lost in a good way, you know, lost so that you just can't focus on anything else. Music does that to me all the time. I constantly, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and music is playing or something that I like in the background, it's not the background anymore. All of a sudden, music is the thing I'm listening to, and I can't hear the person that's talking. So I very often have to say, could you please turn down the music, because I'm only listening to that. It's always, you know, the one thing I'm drawn to is, what's that sound?
Nell'agosto del 2005 a Denver, Colorado, dopo un concerto fatto insieme a Suzanne Vega, Marc Cohn rimane vittima di un tragico incidente che gli cambia completamente la vita. Ne esce vivo per miracolo. Questo è il racconto di quella notte.
Oh, I was just an unlucky man, a lucky, unlucky man. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was coming out of we had just finished a show in Denver, and I got into our van driving back to the hotel to meet the rest of the band for a drink. And a guy who was high on crystal meth was looking for a quick way out of town because he had already left a fake credit card, and he knew people were after him. Nobody knew he had a gun until he got to our van, and he wanted to kill the driver or shoot him so that he could take our car. But he hit me instead. I saw his face, I saw the gun, I told everybody to duck, and as I was ducking, the bullet hit me right here. To make a long story short, I'm very lucky to be standing here, so that's the moral of the story. And I got through a lot of post-traumatic stress and anxiety, worked through all of that pretty much. I mean, I have very little remnant emotionally of that event. Mostly just gratitude that I made it through, that it was miraculous. It was horrible that it happened, but miraculous that it didn't take my life. And I've, you know, for the most part, put it behind me. The greatest thing about it was that it brought me a whole new appreciation of my audience. Ever since that event, I've played more shows than I've ever played. And I wrote a whole record about fate and mortality called Join the Parade, mostly based on that event and then Hurricane Katrina, which came a few weeks after. So it was a horrible incident, but ultimately, you know, as these things often do, if you survive, it makes you more appreciative and grateful to be here. And that was certainly the case.
Artisticamente parlando, dopo l'incidente di Denver è nato un nuovo Marc Cohn?
Well, I think the record I made after that incident was very different from my other records. I was looking to sort of deconstruct my sound and do something new, so I picked a new producer named Charlie Sexton, famous musician in the States, maybe here too. Plays with Dylan all the time. And I loved a record he did for Lucinda Williams way back when called Essence. And so I was looking to have that be an edgier sound, but do I think that that changed my overall approach? I don't. I think it mostly changed me from the inside, but as a human being, not really a writer.
Marc Cohn da sempre ha lavorato con due producer in particolare, Ben Wish e soprattutto John Leventhal. Ho chiesto a Marc quanto sia stata importante per lui la scelta di questi produttori e il ruolo che hanno avuto nello sviluppo e nel confezionamento della sua musica e delle sue canzoni.
They're huge. I mean, producers in music, if they're good, are the equivalent of directors in movies, you know. I mean, I have a lot to say about the way I want my music to sound, especially when I started, I knew what I didn't want, and now as I've gotten older, I know what I do want, and I can ask for it musically. But John Leventhal, they've all been great. Everyone I've worked with, every producer, but John is my main collaborator, and I think is one of the great producers of our time. Largely unrecognized, I think. He should be much more well known because I think he's one of the best and only getting better. His contribution over the years to my music has been enormous. Tracks like Ghost Train, Dig Down Deep, all of the Rainy Season, that's a lot of the sound, the reason my records sound the way they sound are because of him.
A 25 anni esatti di distanza dalla pubblicazione del suo omonimo album di debutto, Marc Cohn pubblica un cofanetto speciale, un cofanetto che non è facile trovare qui in Italia, ma che tutti gli appassionati vorrebbero avere tra le mani e che noi vi consigliamo. Ecco, sentiamo direttamente da Marc che cosa contiene questo cofanetto celebrativo di 25 anni di carriera.
Sure, it's a two-record set, and it largely is a celebration of the 25th anniversary of my first record, which came out in 1991. I went back with Ben Wish, and we looked through the vaults. I was looking for old demos of Walking in Memphis, and we found the original demo. We found band versions and solo piano version that got me signed. So we found all of that, and that's on one of the discs, these demos of the better-known songs. But the primary disc is 12 songs that I'd completely forgotten about, that are about 30 years old. And I thought after not hearing them for so long, they deserved to be released. And so we made this two-record set called Careful What You Dream, Lost Songs and Rarities. And that's exactly what they are. They're lost songs and rarities. And I'm really proud of it. I think it's an interesting document.
Down by the boathouse at Shaker Lake, when there wasn't nothing but love to make, they were two young lovers wishing on the stars above. Well, they carved their initials in an old birch tree with a heart and an arrow and a 63. You had to be blind not to see it was a perfect love. Well, they worked one summer together at the '64 World's Fair. They met Robert Kennedy there. Yeah, that was right before the fall. And they saved up a little bit of money for his career. And they talked about the future underneath the giant sphere. And all around the little voices were singing, it's a small world after all. Yes, it is. Small world after all.